From red ear sliders to map turtles, these are the best turtles that can be housed in an aquarium. Starting with the red ear slider. These are first on the list simply because they're a pretty attractive turtle species and they're easy to find in stores. Their namesake comes from their unique red ear found near their eyes. They're beginner friendly, but they still need regular care and water maintenance. These species are regularly available for purchase at pet stores, but keep in mind that they're usually a certain size when they're sold. Younger red ears are illegal to purchase in the US if they're under 4 inches in diameter. These calm reptiles are omnivorous, so a good balanced diet of insects, some fish like minnows, and vegetables work well for them. Plants can serve a dual purpose since they grow in the tank, and they can be eaten by the turtles. Pellet food for aquatic turtles also works well. The striped mud turtle can live for half a century with proper care. That's way more than cats and dogs and even goldfish, which one in particular was documented to be living 42 years. The striped mud turtle can grow a shell of 3.5 to 4.5 inches and have 3 pale stripes on their oval shell, but they do fade as they age. These turtles are omnivorous and will thrive with a diet of other invertebrates and plants. These can also be kept with the red-eared sliders. Both species need good water quality, UVB bulbs, and a suitable basking area. This North American species named the spotted turtle grows 5 inches or more. Their dark color and yellow spots on the head and upper shell give them a distinct identification. They're omnivorous, and captive-bred specimens can thrive on pellets with meaty foods like worms and crickets. Though they're not the best swimmers, they still need a good basking surface on dry land. Maps are another turtle breed that you'll regularly find available in pet trade. These come in different interesting patterns all over their body and shell. They also have textured scales on their carapaces, aka upper shells, that make them excellent display animals. They do best with a varied diet as they are omnivores. Their diet consists of insects, mollusks, and crustaceans, with leafy vegetables and aquatic plants to balance out their meals. You also have to ensure that they have a clean environment. Moderate to expert keepers can take this species on with a type of care that it requires. Also known as stink pots, the musk turtle got its name from the odor they produce when frightened. Captive bred ones won't be frightened once you house them though. They grow to be about 4 inches and spend most of their time in the water. However, they do require a dry basking spot just like the other species on this list. Although they have a tendency to be stinky, these are suitable for beginners and their small enclosure requirements are excellent for people with limited space. Musk turtles are naturally carnivorous and they feed on bloodworms, mealworms, insects, dried shrimp, and other meaty turtle food items. They can sometimes, however, feed on certain algae in the tank. The Diamondback Terrapins are found in the brackish waters in the east and Gulf coasts of North America. They're captive bred and are kept in fresh water. Increasing the salinity to recreate their natural habitat would be the best option so they can live comfortably. Females can reach a shell length of about 9 inches, and many other turtle species have smaller males, maxing out at around 5 inches. They're carnivorous and they feed on small invertebrates like snails, but commercially sold pet foods are also palatable to them if they're captive bred. Box turtles are land-dwelling reptiles. Their dome-shaped shell can be closed off with a special hinge on the lower shell or plastron. Though there are many types of box turtles, the eastern box turtle is more commonly available in the captive-bred species. These reptiles may be terrestrial, but they love soaking in water and can swim and even submerge themselves. Their ideal home are large outdoor enclosures, preferably with plants to provide shade, shelter, and food. Indoor terrariums are also a good spot for them to live as long as you can manage the temperatures and provide UV lighting. The eastern box turtle is omnivorous, so a well-balanced diet of meaty food and vegetables are going to help it thrive. Alright, now that you know the best turtles for aquariums, let's look at the factors to think about before you decide to bring one home. Number 1 is a long-term commitment. A lot of turtles outlive their owners. They're bought as young ones, so if you're willing, you can also adopt a more mature turtle or adopt them from owners who can no longer care for them. Number 2, insist on captive bred. Captive bred animals have already been adjusted to certain living conditions rather than wild caught ones, which might struggle to adjust to the captive life. Choose species that are available and are easy to care for. Captive bred species also ensure that you don't contribute to the extinction of wild ones. Number 3, turtle tank size. You need to do your due diligence for this one, as many turtles thrive on different tank sizes. I've provided the minimum tank sizes for turtles on this list to make it easier for you to plan your setup. You may also need to consider how many turtles you're planning to take care of, as you might need a bigger tank, enough for them to live comfortably. Number 4, plan ahead. Plan. and consider your living conditions, budget constraints, care requirements, etc. It'll be less stressful for you and your animals in the long run. Let's get down to the basics here. First, enclosure size. Freshwater turtles can live in large plastic containers, regular containers, or even indoor ponds. Their home size depends on their size too. Consider giving them enough space to explore around. Small species like mud and musk turtles can thrive in a 30-gallon tank, and larger ones might need tanks that are at least 5 feet long and wide. A good reference point for most turtles on this list would be 55 gallons. Basking spot. Basking is important for turtles to warm their bodies and get some needed sunlight or UV rays. Dry areas are a must for turtles. A floating shelf is a good option as it doesn't take up a lot of swimming space, and it should also be secure enough below your tank lighting and sturdy enough for your pet to climb on and off. Take for one example in this picture. Egg crate, plastic, and acrylic are great makeshift ramps for turtles. Driftwood or rocks are good natural options, but they can take up a lot of space in the tank. Next, layout. Underwater scenes are beautiful, and a lot of keepers enjoy these types of setups, but experienced turtle keepers always keep it simple. No substrate, no decorations, plants, and other ornaments, as this is much easier to clean and maintain. And speaking of that, let's talk about maintaining water quality. Turtles contribute greatly to the bioload of the tank. A good filtration system should get the job done in maintaining good water conditions. Internal power filters and canister filters would be your go-to, although canister filters are preferred given the amount of waste a turtle can produce. Apart from investing in a good water filter, plants are also a good option if you want to maintain good water parameters. Although you have to consider the plants you'll be putting in your turtle tank, as they might be nibbled on by your turtle. If neglected, dirty water conditions can affect the health of your little turtle. Let's talk lighting. Indoor turtles need UV light for their nutrients and development and to prevent a condition called metabolic bone disease, which is basically the weakening of the bones due to the lack of specific nutrients that help the bone's building blocks. UVB lights are therefore essential because they can supplement the vitamin D and absorb the calcium they need to stay healthy. Most artificial lights do not provide the UVA and UVB turtles need. You would need a light specifically designed for turtles and other reptiles. The light source should be positioned above the basking spot and be on a timer for 10 or more hours daily. Heating. While lighting may provide some heat for these cold-blooded reptiles, a fish tank heater can consistently maintain a comfortable temperature throughout. And diet. Turtles are easy to feed, but a varied diet can help keep them happy and healthy. Pellet and stick food supplemented with fresh food like vegetables or insects can make mealtimes more interesting. Do research the needs of your turtles, as some of them are omnivorous and some are carnivorous. Speaking of that, let's talk feeding. Feeding them the right amount of food is going to help them stay healthy. Of course, over or underfeeding your turtle can cause some health problems. Limit the snacking and they should be in good shape. Young ones can be fed every day, while adult turtles can have a meal every other day. Some keepers have a different feeding place to avoid any excess food from messing up the cleanliness of the tank. But new turtles need to get used to their home first before being transferred to a different area, as this might cause them to be a little stressed out. Vet care. An exotic pet vet can handle all concerns regarding your turtle's health, as these may need specialized care. It's also great if you can ask relevant questions about your turtle to these experts. That way, you'll have more of a knowledge on how to take care of your beloved reptile. What kind of turtle can live in a fish tank? Although risky, some aquatic turtles can live with some fish, but just to be on the safe side, it's best to house these reptiles in a different tank or enclosure that's designed specifically for their needs. So, is it okay to put a turtle in an aquarium? While yes, some aquatic turtles can be kept in glass aquariums, and some have special requirements for their living conditions. If you want to house one in an aquarium, ensure they have UV lights and a basking area to keep them healthy. Always purchase captive-bred turtles, as many species are unfortunately now endangered. These captive-bred turtles are much healthier and easier to care for. Can turtles live in a tank full of water? Aquatic turtles can live fully submerged in water for quite some time. However, they should not live in fully submerged environments. A basking spot is a must. Tortoises, however, should never be kept underwater. So what's the easiest turtle to care for? Mud and musk turtles are easy to care for due to their small size and they don't need a large home. A larger red-eared slider is hardy and easy to care for too. Granted, you have the space needed to house it. But don't limit yourself to these two turtles. If you're feeling a little more adventurous and would like to level up your experience as a keeper, then it's important to carefully curate your tank setup and consider what they need to do well. So how big of a tank do I need for 2 turtles? Depending on the age and the species, a good reference point for a pair would be a 50-gallon tank. Larger species are going to need more space. And remember, these turtles also need ample space for basking. So if you're going to have 2 or more turtles, you need to invest in a good tank and have a carefully planned setup. These long-time friends are worth keeping if they're properly cared for and if they're housed comfortably. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to be updated with our latest videos. Also, check out our website for everything and anything aquarium hobby related, or better yet, click the next video on your right for more turtle content. Until next time!